All right, welcome into Five Reasons. Mm. I always do that. One of these times, I'm not going to do that. All right, welcome
Okay.
into Five Reasons to Bet, sponsored by BUSR.com/5RSN. That's where you want to go to get that 20% bonus. So make sure you go to BUSR.com/5. That's the number 5RSN. Ethan Skolnick here. I've got Jim Rodriguez. You know him as J Rod Show. He's got the cigars going on right now. I've got the beer shirt. So I think we're ready to party a little bit here. So let's make some money. You were 3-1 on your last picks, 3-1. So if you went to BUSR.com, you made a little bit of money here, again, using /5RSN. By the way, use Bitcoin, 100% match on your deposit. So that's another way to go here. If you don't want to spend it on a Tesla, spend it on some gambling here. All right, let's get to it. Trade deadline coming up. I feel like nobody cares about the games right now. So we're going to try to make you care about the games. Clippers and Spurs. Clippers had to come back to beat the Hawks the other night. We never know who's going to play for the Clippers, but this is the first of a back-to-back. How do you see this going?
Well, the way I look at it is if you're into boxing or even MMA like I am, when it's the first of a back-to-back, this is like a first round where they're kind of studying each other. I don't expect a lot of scoring in this game, and the Spurs, the problem with the Spurs is they don't shoot, let alone make a lot of three-pointers. You know that, Ethan. So it's hard to rack up a score. The Clippers are in San Antonio, a little river walk, enjoying themselves. This is Kawhi's country because Kawhi's the most boring guy in the world. I think 220 as an over-under, I think you're not going to get to that. I think San Antonio just doesn't score enough points, and the Clippers are going to do enough to win, and they don't want to show too much because, again, they play again tomorrow night. So if it was me, if I was a betting man, which I am, under 220 Clippers Spurs, bet it.
All right, under 220, so play the under there. You got another over-under play here in what could be a finals matchup, although the pieces may look a little bit different when they get there. The Nets, they've added Blake Griffin recently, but again, Durant is still out. Harden, Kyrie. Kyrie's on another sabbatical, this one for his family. Harden, you don't know. And they're playing against a Utah team that's really, really good. So how do you see this playing out?
Well, the way I look at it is this. I mean, we don't know if Harden's going to play. This is a statement game for the Jazz. And I know that's super overrated. I know a lot of media people love to bring it up, all the talking heads. It's a statement game. But listen, after LeBron got hurt, the Nets are now the prohibitive favorite to win the NBA championship. They're at 4-1. So Utah and Quinn Snyder and that hair, they're trying to make a statement. They're trying to lay the wood to the Nets. So who cares if there's no Harden? Who cares if there's no Kyrie or Durant? It's Utah going to do a lot of the heavy lifting in this game. Over 230.5. It's a lot of points, but Utah can score, a lot of points on themselves. And I think even without those guys, Brooklyn is going to score some points. I think they're going to try to lay the wood in Salt Lake City. Over 230.5. That's my Warren bet. Go the opposite way. Over 230.5 Nets and the Jazz.
All right, let's look ahead a little bit to the day of the trade deadline. Miami Heat very active in trade talks. We're covering all that at 5reasonsports.com. So we're not exactly sure who's going to be here and who's not on Thursday. And remember, one thing to consider, when you make a trade, sometimes the player doesn't pass the physical, doesn't get on the plane, particularly during COVID times, and may not arrive in time. So we don't really know who's going to play on Thursday. So these are a little bit risky, but you want to play the Blazers Heat game.
I do, because the way I look at it is this. The Portland defense has been pretty bad. The last 4 of the last 5 games, they've given up 115 or more points. They gave up 132 to the Mavericks. Now, I'm not saying that the Heat are going to score 132, but remember, it was 107. That was the Heat total against Phoenix, and they came in under. So my question to you, Ethan Skolnick, is do you think the Miami Heat, whatever team they put out on Thursday, do you think they could score at least 107 points?
I mean, it depends who's out there. I will say this, Jim. I mean,
against a bad defense
lately. They're under 35% from 3 in 7 straight games. So they have not shot the ball well at all. But we also know sometimes when teams make trades, they get a little bit energized. I wouldn't be surprised if they score a little more. We do know that Jimmy and Bam are going to be here. So at the very least, they'll have those two. Dragic is questionable right now. If he plays, that helps. I do think they can go over for a change. They got to 100 last night, and they were awful. So could they get to 107, 110? it's definitely possible. All right, let's take a look.
That's where I think it's going to be, right about the 107 point. That's going to be the team
Yeah,
total.
they
So
ain't
if
scoring
it's
120,
there,
not the way they're shooting lately.
right?
I don't
If it's
care who's out there,
105 to 107, I'd go the over with Miami.
All right, so over with Miami and over overall. Let's take a look at the Sweet 16. We've got Oregon State and Loyola, team that upset the number 1 seed Illinois. Again, over under is what you like.
Well, sis, I was having my bourbon here at Cigar Snob Magazine, and I nearly spit out my bourbon when I saw the over/under total of this was 125.5. Think about that. Not for the half, but for the game, 125.5. Now, I know Loyola held the number 1 seed Illinois to under 60 points. I get it. But Loyola scores at least in the high 60s to low 70s. That would mean they would have to hold Oregon State to the high 50s. Oregon State can score points. 125.5. It may not be there by the end of the week, so take it now. 125.5 over. That's easy, my friend. Easy. They're giving you money there.
All right, so jump in there. Again, use busr.com/5RSN. Make sure you get that 20% bonus up to $500. It's definitely worth it. Also, again, if you're going to use Bitcoin, that's basically 100%. Oh, it's not basically. It is 100%. All right, J-Rod, 3-1 in the last one. We'll see how you do in this one. We'll see if the Heat even field 8 players on the court on Thursday night. We're not sure, but if they do, you, again, like the over. Thanks, Jim. Enjoy the cigars and the bourbon.
We'll see you Friday.